Hello grade 10, we're now going to do a nice program. Question 3 on page 79. We're going to start that and you're going to open the main program and then you've got to open *_u inside the folder as well, okay, in the question 3 folder, and it's got a rich edit, yay, no longer a string grid. So it says here in the code, first of all, in the question, says constellation is a group of stars that covers the night sky. So some are passive, some stars are passive and others are navigational, and they are used to calculate direction and movement. Interesting. Anyway, the application you'll be using has the following interface. Write a code for the constructor method. It's going to receive the name of the star, magnitude and its distance from the Earth, and the constellation it belongs to as parameters. So it's a string, integer, I think, or maybe we'll keep it real, and string. So it's string. Okay, well, we'll have to just go to our constructor. So we're going to write a constructor create, which is going to receive the things that we needed to receive. Okay, we have got the fields here. Can you see the names? So it's those things, and I can put them in the order that they are here. So I'll say, okay, it's going to receive a string, isName, semicolon, the magnitude, rmag, colon, real, and then semicolon. Now we're going to have a distance, rdist, colon, integer. Then we have to have another one and call it, if it's a constellation, so I'm going to say sconst colon string. Now they're not requiring us to have the navigational status, no, because that's going to be calculated. So if you can see properly here, we've got a string, a real, an integer, and then another string for the constellation. And there's our constructor create, so we're going to highlight that and Control-Shift-C, and then we say we're going to set our private fields, and I do this, I copy and paste it, and then I don't have to type, you know, all the time. So if name must be equal to isName, coming in from that constructor. Yeah, if name must be equal to isName, if magnitude must be equal to rmag, if distance is equal to rdist, and if constellation will be equal to sconst, const, I can't remember if I used the T at the end of that word. Maybe I did. Oh no, it's right there. Here it is, sconst. So that's your constructor done. That would be like 3-4 marks. So this is more typical of the type of exam question you'd get. Right, write code to create an accessor method for the constellation F constellation, for this attribute F constellation. Okay. Oh wait, it says initialize. Oh, we haven't finished the constructor. I never read properly. Hey, you can lose marks by not reading. I'm reading too fast. Set the 4 respective attributes to the received parameters. Initialize if navigational status attribute to false. This is in the constructor method. I never finished it. So that if navigational status, which was not in our parameter list, but it's over here, we're going to set it to false, equals false. There we have it. I forgot my assignment statement there. Hey. That looks better, nice and neat. So we set our navigational status, which is a Boolean variable, to false, a Boolean field, and these other fields we set to whatever comes in from the constructor create. That's done. Now we can do number 3.2, write code to create an accessor for the constellation F constellation. What's an accessor? Well, new words, accessor and mutator. And these are the words that you'll likely see in an exam paper. I know I told you about get and set methods, like the set method was a procedure and the get method was a function. Now an accessor is the same as getting, isn't it? No, or is it? Yeah. And a mutator is a set. So accessor, you get something when you access something, so it's a function. So function get constellation. That's what we have to write. And they didn't give us a name. We're going to know that we're going to write the word function get constellation. So I'll put it over here, function as a header, get, it's an accessor, get constellation, colon, what kind of data type is constellation? It's a string, so it has to be a string function. Remember, functions must have their data type. So we highlight that function, header, Control-Shift-C, and all we have to do is say result equals F constellation. And F constellation is that private field over there. There it is. I could have just copied and pasted it here. It would be maybe easier to type. I don't know. Anyway, so function get constellation is a string data type, and the result of that function will be the private field, and that's how you name it. And these are easy marks for you to get in your exams. Write code for a mutator method called set navigational status. Okay, it's going to receive Boolean value as a parameter and set the navigational status to retrieved value. So we're going to set the navigational status using a method called set navigational status. Now set navigational status is going to be a procedure because it's a mutator or a set method, and it's got to receive B value, some kind of variable, a Boolean data type. Okay, so there I've got my procedure header written, and it's got a parameter, it's receiving something, a Boolean data type, Control-Shift-C, and then we're going to set that navigational status, which is this private field over here, F navigational status. We're going to set it to whatever B value is. You don't say true or false, it's got to be B value, the variable that's coming in to this method. So there's that. So we've written a few methods so far. Now let's go and see what else do we have to do. Write code for a method called determine visibility. I like this. It's going to determine and return. There's a keyword there. So that's a function. Straight away you think, okay, that's a function. Return a description of the visibility of the star. And the visibility of the star depends on its distance from Earth in light years and its magnitude. So we're going to have the two, the distance and the magnitude. We're going to use those two numbers to determine visibility and to calculate the visibility, and then we're going to return that as a string, a description. So determine visibility is a function because it's returning something. All right, so we're going to write our function header, determine visibility, function. You're going to write the word function, determine visibility, colon, and I deduced that it is going to be a string. Take note where we write our functions and procedures and constructors, all here inside the public section. Okay, we've got already got a function called getName, and that function getName has been written already. Result equals fName. Okay, we haven't written the function determine visibility yet, so let's go and highlight. Does it have any parameters? Well, is there anything coming into it? No, not from outside, no, because guess what? We're going to use these two private fields here, F distance and F magnitude. We're going to use that to calculate visibility. So highlight, Control-Shift-C. At least I think we're going to use that. Yeah, magnitude and visibility. I mean distance, magnitude and distance. So we're in our function, determine visibility, we've implemented it. Now we have to write it. And here is the values. If it's less than 80, between, and if the magnitude is any value. So we're going to use a whole lot of if statements, or maybe are we dealing, is distance a real number? Can we do distance is real, distance is an integer and magnitude is real. So I wonder if I can do case if magnitude of, the magnitude is an integer, okay? Oh wait, no, it's distance is an integer. Case if distance. We can't use a real number in a case statement. That's just wrong. If distance of. I'm going to try this, and if it doesn't work, we'll use another method. From 80 to 900, and yeah, fewer than light years. You know what? It's actually easier. 0 to 80. Let's say it's 0 to 80. 0, 80. Then we're going to do something. 80 to 90. Else we'll do something else. Else will be anything greater than 900. 80 to 900. Okay, else we'll do something else. Now, for both of those cases, if it's fewer than 80, then our result will be clearly visible, won't it? So we actually can do this. We can say result equals clearly visible. Okay. And then for 80 to 900, we have to find out about the magnitude, if it's 2 or larger than 2. So we have to do begin and end here for the 80 to 900. So we're going to say if magnitude, take note I'm using the private fields here, magnitude. If magnitude is less than or equal to 2, then we're going to say hardly visible to the naked eye. We're going to return a string. I'm going to say result equals hardly visible to the naked eye. Take note how I copied and pasted this. I didn't have to type that big long sentence. Else, we have to have an else, result equals, why do I have to have an else? Because we've got another option, larger than 2. If it's less than or equal to 2, then larger than 2 would be the else part, wouldn't it? Yep. Visible means of standard optical aid. So that's working so far. And then over here, this else part is going to cover anything that's greater than 900. Okay? So that means only visible means of a specialized optical aid. So that's going to be my next string. Result equals that. And we can put a semicolon there. Now remember, there's always an else in our case structure, and there's only an end without a begin. So this is another use of using case. So that's that one written. Then the next one, write code in the toString method, and we're going to have a format. This is the format of the toString method. So and in this toString method we're going to have some options here, you know. The toString method, we're going to go right up to our methods over here, our headers, and say function you must always know that toString is a function and it returns a string. Okay, so there's our function, highlighted, Control-Shift-C, and they're telling us how we must compile our string, the name of the star and then constellation. Name of the star, so if name, then the words belongs to, and then constellation. So we're going to have these two lines in a string, and I'm putting it here so it's easy for me to see what I have to do here. So name of star, so F star, so we're going to say result, wait, let's go, we build a line. Okay, let's build a line, VARS line, colon string, local variable. It's easier this way because we've got to do something else here. S line equals if name plus belongs to the if name. Can you see if name? If name is this thing here, because our toString method takes our private fields. Wait, private fields are there. Okay, takes those private fields, puts them together in a nice big long string that will then go to the program that's calling it. So we're going to go and put in the words belongs to the, and then over here we have to join that to if constellation, and then we join that to the word constellation. Okay, then we've got to join that whole thing to a #13 to get to a new line. Okay, and then the words the star has a magnitude of F magnitude, and then we're going to join that to the sentence and is, and then we're going to join that to F distance, and then we join that to from Earth. Okay, oh wait, distance from Earth. Okay, distance, F distance, light years away from Earth. But so that's the string so far. F name belongs to the constellation, F constellation, plus #13. And the new line, the stars of magnitude of such and is that amount away from Earth. But F magnitude and F distance, what are they? F magnitude is real, F distance is an integer, so we have to convert. So we better get on it and convert magnitude. Is distance real? I always get confused. Magnitude is real, distance is an integer. So magnitude is string to float, and maybe we'll have to format it, but we'll see. And then distance is string to int. I mean, not string to float, float to string. Oh my word. Float to string, and this is int to string. Don't make the mistakes that I make, guys. Okay, right. Okay, that's the line so far. So now we've got to go and join that line to something else, because there's something weird going on here. We have to go and call a function, because we have to find out if it's a navigational star. And then we're going to add the name of the star is a navigational star. So that's what we have to do. I'm just going to put this here so I know what I'm going to be doing next. See, I'm copying and pasting to show you that so that I can see what I'm actually doing here. Don't have to keep reading from the page. We have to say, we have to ask the question, is it a navigational star? So if navigational status, if that navigational status equals true, okay, now set navigational status there's a procedure to do it, but we're not going to do that. We want to use if navigational status inside here. We're going to say if navigational status equals true in our toString method. If if navigational status equals true, then we're going to say S-line equals the previous S-line plus these words, fname plus the words is a navigational star, else we're going to say the same thing, S-line equals S, we're going to join that thing to is a passive star. Right, so can you see that we have got an if then else here? We built S-line, took us a while to build it there, but then we've got to go and check the navigational status, and if it is true, then we say it is navigational, else we'll say it is passive. I just want to point out something, that this function here, determine visibility, is what we call an auxiliary method. I think that's the word for it. There's an activity that that we should be doing right up here where it says auxiliary methods. What is an auxiliary method? We'll do that just now, but tomorrow we'll continue with this activity over here. We've finished the class definition. In other words, we've finished writing this class unit, all the methods, and they're quite tricky, so you must do that now and make sure you have your program ready for tomorrow when we actually use this class, and that will be the exciting part. So I'll see you tomorrow. Oh wait, whoa, forgot. We have to go here on page 77. You look, this is a class diagram. We have attributes and methods, and you see there's a minus next to each attribute and there's a plus next to each method, and that shows that the minus means that they are private. In other words, only the program is using that they're written in, only that program can use it and see it. And the plus means they're public, meaning programs that use the program, so they're available to other programs that are using that unit. So the methods have the plus sign. But now, what's an auxiliary method? Well, if you look here, get driver ID, get surname, get full time, and set first name. These are all like methods that are working with the private fields. The toString is using the private fields, yes, but calculate age is like an auxiliary method. It's not doing a set or get. Okay, calculate age would be an auxiliary method. In our program over here, we have determine visibility. That's also an auxiliary method. It's not set and getting. It's just finding out if something's visible. Okay, so that's an auxiliary method. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow.